Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to have all of you here. For those of you who are not familiar with the Isha Foundation, first of all, my name is Maya. I'm a full-time volunteer with the foundation. We are a non-profit, volunteer-run organization supported by over 9 million volunteers and operating in over 300 centers worldwide. The foundation has been established by Sadhguru, who is a yogi, a mystic, a visionary. And the most important aspect of Sadhguru's work is he offers powerful tools for self-transformation sourced from the science of yoga. These tools are very potent, and the main aspect of these tools is that they allow every human being to really experience what it means to live at your peak and to really experience the fullness and wholeness of being human. So I've been practicing Isha Yoga practices for over 16 years now, and it has made a major role in my life, and that's why as a volunteer I have taken the step of participating in making these tools available to more people. And we have witnessed for so many years the impact of these practices in bringing vibrancy and health to millions of practitioners worldwide. These are very challenging times, what we are going through today with the COVID-19 crisis, which has in many ways stopped the activity across the globe. And now more than ever, as human beings, we need methods and tools to enhance our health, to enhance our immunity, and minimize our vulnerability to the risk of contamination that each one of us is exposed to. Moreover, there is also a fundamental need for tools to create the necessary inner balance for us to go through these difficult times with minimum friction. So as volunteers with the Isha Foundation and as yoga practitioners, we have experienced hands-on the impact of yoga, of these fundamental tools from the yogic science, and it is our endeavor to share as much as we can to support people across the globe on every level and really allow them to go through this phase with minimal struggle. Whilst the medical and scientific communities are doing their research, coming out with many facts and sharing any findings on the behavior of this new virus, many things remain unknown about it. So the only thing that we can do at this point is really do our level best to strengthen our system. And when it comes to that, there is a whole wealth of knowledge and understanding that has been there for thousands of years through the yogic science, a profound understanding of the human mechanism. And Sadhguru has made many aspects of this knowledge available to us. So we are trying to communicate whatever is most valid in these circumstances to everybody. So whilst there doesn't seem to be much of a treatment for the virus as yet, there are ways, there are means to strengthen your system to withstand the onslaught. But we want to clarify that this, by whatever recommendations we will be giving, are by no means a treatment. They are not a prevention or a substitute for all the other precautionary measures that have been advised by the medical professionals. However, these tools can be an additional support, not only in this difficult phase, but for your health and well-being in general. So we just wanted to go over certain daily aspects that you can take care of to support your health and immune system. First aspects we wanted to look at is in terms of eating habits. Leaving 5 to 6 hours gap between 2 meals without ingesting anything in between is a great support. One aspect is it supports the cleansing of the system on a cellular level. And if you are over 30 years of age, it would be good to keep it to 2 meals a day, leaving at least 5 to 6 hours in between. And whatever evening meal you have, whatever last meal you have in the day, it would be good to leave at least 3 hours between the last meal and going to bed. And it would be good to do 20 to 30 minutes of physical activity It need not be a very strenuous physical activity. It could be simple walking or a dance after dinner time, and just wait 3 hours after dinner before going to bed. It would be good also to bring in some amount of physical movement. Of course, we understand that with social distancing and quarantine, you may not be able to go outside for a walk. However, at home, some jogging on the spot can help, and your body is capable of 3 main movements, which is bending forward, bending backwards, and twisting sideways. So it would be good to do this on a daily basis, bending your body forward, bending it backwards, twisting sideways, and also squatting to allow a stretching of the spinal column. Now, to do these, of course, classical Hatha Yoga is the best way of doing it, but you can also do these movements by yourself, gently, to whatever extent you are physically able to do it. In Isha, we have made available various Uppa Yoga practices, which are available online for free. So Uppa Yoga means pre-yoga or sub-yoga. These are yogic practices that can be practiced by anyone, and they are a preparatory step before yoga. So we have made various practices available online that can be found on Sadhguru's YouTube channel or even Sadhguru's app, and we have compiled all our free practices on one landing page, and we will make the link available to you after the webinar is over. In terms of food, there are certain food items which are particularly conducive. First thing is honey. It's definitely a very beneficial ingredient that you can incorporate in your daily diet. Of course, within the constraints of what you can find, definitely having as many fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables as possible, dry fruits. These are good aspects to incorporate in your diet. In terms of hydration, it's important to stay hydrated, preferably hot or warm drinks. It is best to avoid cold and iced drinks. One good hot beverage to have is warm water with a little bit of honey on an empty stomach in the morning. You can even add a squeeze of lime or lemon to it. Avoid alcohol, coffee, and caffeinated sodas, which can make dehydration worse. And especially if you have a sore throat, salt water gargling can definitely help. A quarter to half a teaspoon of table salt in 8 ounces of warm water. However, it should not be swallowed. Just be careful, children younger than 6 years of age are likely unable to gargle properly. And steam inhalation helps keep the mucous membranes in the face and the head warm. Now, there are also certain items or natural ingredients that can help build immunity in the system. Neem and turmeric. Definitely those of you coming from India, you'd be very familiar with this leaf. It comes from the neem tree. It's bitter in taste, but it's very beneficial in supporting with immunity in the system. Neem is available in powder form, so the neem powder can either be mixed with a little bit of water to make a paste, rolled into a ball and swallowed with warm water in the morning. But even in Isha Life, we have them available in a pill format, so they're available online. And same thing with turmeric. It can be prepared the same way. Turmeric is probably more common here in the US than neem. Similarly, mixed with water, made into a paste, swallowed in the morning. Both neem and turmeric should be consumed on an empty stomach. For those of you coming from India, you will be familiar with gooseberry. It also supports in boosting the immune system. Crushed peppercorns, preferably green peppercorns, soaked in honey overnight, and you can consume them 3 times a day on an empty stomach. This is again an additional support. If you can't find green peppercorns, you can use black peppercorns instead. So you just crush them, soak them in honey overnight, and you can consume them 3 times a day on an empty stomach. If available, raw mango and ginger. Ginger is also a good immune boosting ingredient. It can be incorporated in your daily cooking. It can be incorporated in a grated form into salads. Preferably uncooked and raw is the best way of consuming it. Now, other aspects: minimizing time on social media, will help. Of course, you need to stay informed about the latest happenings of the virus, but keeping it to the minimal possible will help. And if you incorporate some meditative practice to your day, it will be a support. So we will make a few meditation links available to you at the end of this webinar as well. These are guided meditations that are available online and for free. Now, today, a main aspect of what we want to do on this webinar is we wanted to introduce Simha Kriya. It's a simple yogic process to boost immunity and enhance lung capacity. Simha Kriya has been communicated to us recently by Sadhguru in the context of the COVID-19 situation, and it can be a wonderful support in enhancing your physical health. But it could also act as a tool in identifying when your lungs are not at their best. So the word Simha means lion, Kriya means an inner process. It's a purifying energy technique that uses the breath. How Simha Kriya is practiced, the instructions, what are its benefits. Right now we will be playing a short video by Sadhguru. He will speak about it, but he will also be giving the instructions as to how to do it. So please don't do it as they are doing it. Don't do it while Sadhguru is giving the instructions. Just listen carefully how it's done. It is important that you get the instructions right, that you grasp this, and we will repeat the instructions for you after the video is over.
Simha Kriya. In these unusually challenging times of a global pandemic, having a robust immune system and a well-functioning respiratory system becomes of paramount importance. Ancient yogic techniques are known to have many benefits for the body, mind and energies. Here is an offering from Sadhguru, a yogi, mystic and visionary. Sadhguru offers Simha Kriya, a simple but powerful yogic practice to boost the immunity and enhance our lung capacity. This practice can be done by anyone, with a few exceptions specified in the practice instruction video. Especially for those who do not have any other powerful process to support their system during these times, Simha Kriya can be extremely beneficial. Sadhguru will be giving the instructions. It is important that you receive these instructions properly. Please dedicate the next 10 minutes exclusively for this process. Please do not attempt the practice while watching the video. First, listen to the complete instructions and then attempt the practice on your own.
So this is a simple practice. This is not relevant to people who are doing Shakti Chalana Kriya. It's not necessary to do this. But it could be done. If you're doing Shakti Chalana Kriya in the morning, in the evening, you can do it, or in the afternoon if you're hungry enough, you can do it. Otherwise, for those of you who do not know any other powerful process, this will help. One thing is, it will enhance your lung capacity. Another thing is, it'll enhance your immunity. And above all, if you can do it today, if you can do it for next 5 days, and suddenly one day you're not able to do it, this means definitely you got some respiratory problem. It may not be this particular virus, but it could be anything else. It doesn't matter what it is, you must have yourself checked if you suddenly find you're not able to do it. What it involves is that you have to fully stretch your tongue out with your mouth fully open and then breathe as powerfully as possible without jerking the abdomen, but powerful pushing in and pushing out, both inhalation, exhalation, 21 times. And when it is done, you roll up your tongue upward, push it as further back as you can. You don't have to use your hands, it's not a good time to use your hands. So roll up your tongue fully as much as you can by itself, like… and still with your mouth open, again breathe the same way. Inhalation, exhalation as powerfully as possible, but you must get the sound by making a constriction in your throat like this. The sound must be there. It's important that you form a constriction at the throat level, at the pit of your throat and make the sound, and inhalation, exhalation, fully exhaling, fully inhaling as powerfully as you can, but without jerking the abdomen, another 21 times with the tongue rolled up. Throughout the whole process, you have your eyes closed, you inhale fully. You inhale fully and simply sit there with the fullness of breath for 1 minute. If you are beyond a certain age or your breathing is not that good, at least 30 seconds. If you're not able to do 1 minute, a minimum of 30 seconds you stay there. When the day you're not able to do it, you must understand that there is some problem with your respiratory system and you must go for a checkup. Right now, she will demonstrate. So what's being done is, one has to sit in a cross-legged posture, whichever way you can, whatever your body permits, and then use both the arms to push it up in such a way that your rib cage lifts off the diaphragm region, fully pushed up, and now extend your tongue fully out. Like this 21 times. When it's done, then close your mouth, that also 21 times, then close your mouth. You exhale with your mouth closed, making the sound at the pit of your throat by creating a constriction. And then if you wish to sit quietly for some time with your eyes closed, do that, and then you can do whatever you're doing. This is a simple practice that anybody could do. You ensure your stomach is not too full, you must be somewhat hungry. Even if you're not totally empty stomach, at least you must be somewhat hungry. kind of situation. This is a simple practice, particularly those of you who are exposed either because you are medical personnel or you're police or you're in some other service where you're exposed to infected people. Please make sure you do this will make a lot of difference for you.
The practice instructions will be available online for your reference. Please do the practice exactly as instructed. Do not make any changes or modifications to it, such as increasing the count. Anyone between 6 and 70 years of age can do this practice, regardless of their physiological and medical conditions. Those below 6 years of age and those above 70 years of age can do the practice too, but they must do the breathing 12 times only, not 21 times. People who have or have had any kind of tumor in the brain or hemorrhage of the brain can do the practice, but they must do the breathing 12 times only, not 21 times. For more details, visit the website.
So we will repeat the instructions for Simha Kriya. As mentioned in the video, you do not attempt Simha Kriya if you are on a full stomach condition. You should be in a light stomach condition, that is 2.5 hours after a meal. So you sit in a cross-legged posture, whatever your body permits. If you need additional cushions to support yourself, you can do that. So to whatever extent you can, you sit in a cross-legged posture. You place your palms facing down on your thighs, and you use both your arms to push the body fully up in such a way that your rib cage lifts off from the diaphragm region. You keep your head slightly upturned, close your eyes, and you open your mouth and extend your tongue fully out. Then you breathe as powerfully as possible without jerking the abdomen. Powerful pushing in and pushing out, full inhalation and full exhalation. When you do this, you must get the sound by making a constriction in the pit of the throat, like this. That is the sound. You do this 21 times. Then, after doing this 21 times, you roll your tongue upwards. Push it as far back as you can without using your hands. And with the mouth open, the tongue rolled up, pushed as far back as possible, you breathe the same way, inhalation and exhalation, as powerfully as possible, making the sound from the pit of the throat. Again, you do this 21 times. Of course, during the entire process, you keep your eyes closed. After doing it 21 times, you close your mouth, inhale fully through the nostrils, and simply sit there, holding your breath on fullness of the breath for 1 minute. If you are of a certain age and you are not able to stay for 1 minute, you stay there for a minimum of 30 seconds. And then exhale with your mouth closed, making the sound at the pit of the throat by creating a constriction. If you wish to sit quietly for some time with your eyes closed, you can do that. You can do the practice 2 to 3 times daily, allowing a minimum of 4 hours gap between 2 practices. So right now, we will give you 7 minutes time. You can sit and do the practice by yourself. Please only do it if you are on a light stomach condition. So if you can please open your eyes, those of you who are practicing. If there are any questions about the practice or about what we covered earlier, you can type it in the chat box and we will answer a few questions. How many times do we have to do this every day? We just mentioned this a few minutes ago, so you can do Simha Kriya 2 to 3 times daily, allowing at least 4 hours between 2 practices. Should the breathing only happen through the mouth? Yes, so the first 2 parts of the practice with your tongue sticking out and with your tongue rolled up, the breathing is happening through the mouth, and after, when you close your mouth, you inhale through the nostrils and you sit there for a minute on fullness of breath. Should I do this before or after the Shambhavi practice? So those of you who have learned the Shambhavi Mahamudra practice through Isha Yoga programs, through inner engineering programs, you can do it either before or after Shambhavi practice. There is no specific order. How long do we know how long we have been holding the breath for? You can estimate 1 minute. It doesn't have to be sharp 1 minute, approximately 1 minute's time you can estimate. Should one sit with straight arms or could the arms be bent at the elbows? So you do it to whatever extent you can. The idea is just to push down so that the rib cage lifts off from the diaphragm. So to that extent you attend and straighten the elbows. I am trying my best not to jerk my abdomen, but it naturally happens. Is there any way to ensure that my abdomen doesn't jerk? See, the abdomen might move in and out as you're doing it, you just don't jerk it, okay? It's not a jerky movement. At the end of Simha Kriya, when it is time to do Kumbhaka, or sit on fullness, is it okay to exhale and then inhale fully, or should the inhalation continue from the last inhalation done while having the tongue rolled up? After the 21st exhalation and inhalation, and I'm trying to understand the question, should one continue to inhale from the 21st inhalation and go into Kumbhaka, or is it okay to exhale after the first inhalation and then inhale fully? See, don't try and dissect the practice like this. You're doing 21 times inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. 21st inhalation, exhalation, then you inhale fully and hold Kumbhaka. It's very simple. Should one make the sound from the pit of the throat during inhalation, or is it only during exhalation? You attempt to do it both inhalation and exhalation to whatever extent it's possible. If I have difficulty in between breaths, what should I do? Should I reduce the count? If it is difficult for you to do 21 times, you do 12. Generally, people between 6 and 70 years of age should be able to do 21. If that is difficult, you do 12. And I would like to add that people with brain tumor or brain hemorrhage can do the practice, but you do 12 breaths. 1 inhale and 1 exhale is counted as 1. That is correct. Can you swallow in between the 3 steps? If there is the need to swallow the saliva, that is okay, let it happen. If we feel dizzy the first time, is it normal, or does it mean there is something wrong? So if it's naturally happening, it is okay. There is no way the practice can cause any damage. Just make sure that you're following the instructions. If you have any confusion about the instructions, we will make the video available to you. It's available on Sadhguru's YouTube channel, and we will send the link also at the end of this webinar. When you roll your tongue back, should we touch it to the palate to roll it as much as possible? Yes, when you roll it back, it will naturally touch the palate. In the last step, when we inhale completely, there is no need to inhale, exhale 25 times, right? Yes, so the 21 times are only with your tongue sticking out and then with your tongue rolled up. In the last stage, when you just inhale and hold the breath, this is 1 inhalation, and then you sit there on fullness for 1 minute. So if there are any further questions, you can always email the foundation separately, and we will be happy to answer any questions. You can also send a message on Facebook messaging, and we will assist you as it is needed. We hope this session was supportive and helpful to you. And in addition to Simha Kriya, there are many other practices that are available online for free, including Upa Yoga practices, which we mentioned earlier, including other guided meditations. And you can also download Sadhguru's app, which has additional guided meditations and processes that are available. We will be rolling out further webinars in the future, making as many practices as possible available online just to support each and every one of you. We hope you keep well and healthy. These are challenging times, they are not easy times, but even though external things may not happen the way we wanted, at least we can cultivate our inner situation in a certain way. And this is what Sadhguru's work is towards, just to equip each and every person with tools to keep yourself in a state of balance no matter what's happening on the outside.